It's about the changes in state pension age and the underfunding of the National Insurance Fund. An event to show 1950s born women have one thing in common. No matter what solution you favour, what campaign you're from, we all want justice. We have a great lineup for you today till about 2:30, and then you have time to grab a bite to eat and make your way to Parliament Square, on foot, in wheelchairs, by taxi or tube, where we're going to make plenty of noise so they can hear us in Parliament. Already there is a group making noise through Prime Minister's question time. And we will be joining them later to raise the volume. We're going to hear today about the many aspects of the impact of the lack of notice on numerous changes to our pensions and state pension ages that we all feel really keenly. This autumn is a really important moment in time. It's important that we're here together making our voice heard. Government is now benefiting financially from the 2011 Act, and even more of our pensions are in government coffers for use in other spending, or it's already spent. The Parliamentary Ombudsman begins looking at our case in the next few weeks, and only yesterday many women received letters from the Parliamentary Ombudsman starting the process, and if you're one of those who've got that far, you will have had that letter. Back to 60 is making significant progress in its legal challenge, and we're all behind them. Even Brexit could bring an extraordinary opportunity for action for us. The budget deliberations are being made now as we stand here. It's time for action. We're going to start with some words from the three campaign founders, the WASPI campaign 2018 now, Back to 60, and We Paid In, You Pay Out. But first, Jane Morwood with information on health and safety for today. Have a great day.
First of all, thank you for turning up here today. All right, okay. I'm a gobby scout, so I don't normally need a mask. But anyway, thank you very much for turning up today. And the turnout today is testament of the strength of feeling against this grave injustice imposed upon us. I feel proud and privileged to be speaking here today amongst such eminent speakers and in the company of strong, determined women like you all here and your partners. WASPI is delighted to join forces with Back to 60 and We Paid In, You Paid Out. On today of all days, the shoulder to shoulder rally. And this is our first collective venture. There is strength in unity. There is strength in unity. And our collaboration, we believe, will culminate in justice for 1950s women. The date of this rally was not plucked out of thin air. It was chosen by WASPI because of its significance and the significance of this year. It was on this day, the 10th of October 1903, that Emmeline Pankhurst formed the suffragette movement. And whilst we have a long way to go, it was a landmark in the history of the fight for women's justice and equality. Something we 50s women have been denied. Something we 50s women will strive for. And something we 50s women will achieve, because believe you me, nothing could stop us in getting justice. To summarise, and before I hand over to Trudy, WASPI campaign is delighted to stand shoulder to shoulder as one voice with Back to 60, and we paid in, you pay out. Together, we feel that everyone here today, everyone throughout the land, are sending a message to the cruel, uncaring Conservative government. We are angry. We have been betrayed. We will not be silenced. We will not be ignored. We will not go away. We are here for the duration, and we will do whatever it takes until we receive what is rightfully ours, what we are entitled to. Deeds, not words, are the order of the day. Go, go 50s women.
We are strong. We will not give up until we win. I am so proud to be sharing this event with so many groups showing solidarity. We're here to tell Theresa May, we paid in, you paid out.
To 60, that's the message to vote. Everybody's thanked everyone for coming along, and we can't tell you how proud we are to be standing here with everybody here. One voice, shoulder to shoulder. We're unified and we cannot be divided. As Michael Mansfield and Yvette Greenway have said, we need to hold the direction. It's so important. We respect everybody's views. We may disagree with you, however, we wish to stand shoulder to shoulder with you and walk forward and say, thank you very much, they're our own dues, and we demand they be returned. So if I could I've got some news for you today. Just before I give you the news, I'd like to just say a few words about people who work stoically in the background helping us. And I can't tell you Can I take the microphone off? Yeah. Take it. Can somebody get it out?
Put the stand on the podium.
We feel guardian angels around Back to 60, and that includes everybody here. We're not being divisive in any way. We want to stand shoulder to shoulder with people. So that's all 50s women from any group, and in particular Margaret Rimington, who created our campaign e-petition some time ago, and we're on our way to 1 million supporters. And to my right, my dear friend Yvette Greenway, without whom I'd be in pieces. So, you know, let's hear it for Yvette, please. So, as we know, Ken Loach is supporting us, and we'll have some news about in the future about, you know, what we're trying to do along those lines in the future. And our Andy Pope, our film crew today, and Jasper and Alex, who couldn't be here. And David Henke is here. David Henke, as you all know, is an absolute guardian angel of all 50s women. His research and blogs that have gone viral have busted every single argument that the government's put forward not to David's going to be speaking for himself shortly, so you know, I can't speak highly enough of Yvette and David. So yeah, and George Galloway, Gayatri Galloway, Jim Walsh of the Ethical Society, and Professor Jackie Jones. She has written an amicus brief, which, as you all know, is an academic opinion in this matter, and her work is bringing more and more fruit as days go by, and I'll tell you more about that in a minute. Ian Rothwell from Salford City Radio has been in touch, from Sky News to BBC World News, The Guardian, The Independent, the lot. They're all been in touch, and they're all writing about it. I've been invited to do a 600-word piece today, and believe me, I can't wait to put pen to paper. So I'm not going to take up too much of your time because there's lots of people here who've got more important things to say. However, where the amicus brief is concerned, and without getting too technical, beside the amicus brief, which is the academic opinion, evidence was created and submitted to the work and to the Women and Equality Select Committee inquiry into the Equality Act. Now they're looking into that because actually it's failing us, okay? So what we're doing is creating an e-petition to create a new law which will be called Greer's Law. And in a nutshell, we want the UN treaty, i.e. the CEDAW articles, transposed into UK domestic law, because that is why they were able to do this to us, because that treaty is not incorporated. Now I know it sounds very technical, but believe me, Professor Jackie Jones, she is an expert in this area, and she can lead us where we want to go. So besides our campaign and the world-class legal action, we're now taking up a third channel where we're going to say the Equality Act is not working. We are going to create a new law and push that Equality Act where it needs to go. Okay, and we will fight and fight until we get that. And Professor Jackie Jones really wanted to be here today. She sends her very high regard to everybody, and she wants everybody to know that she's totally behind us, and all her work is pro bono, which, believe me, for somebody of her calibre, is amazing. In a moment, Yvette is going to be talking about the survey. As you know, it's World Mental Health Day, and she's going to be announcing startling figures that have come out of the survey, but I'll leave that to Yvette to talk about. And finally, the news that you've all been waiting for. We have got a hearing in the Royal Courts of Justice for this issue, and it's imminent, and we will be announcing the date in a press release. And his world-class legal team. Let's hear it for Yvette Greenway. Let's hear it for David Henke, Professor Jackie Jones, and I think Sophie Walker might be here somewhere from the Women's Equality Party. She'll be making a speech, and also Sam Smithers, the CEO of the Fawcett Society. Now, believe me, I can't tell you what pleasure it's given me to share that information with you today. And what I would like you to do, please, immediately I stop talking, is get on your phones and tell everybody the news, okay? We want it to set social media alight, okay? It's fantastic and we're so privileged. Everybody said, you'll never get this far. Well, we've done it. And yes, there's mountains to climb, but we can climb them and stand at the top, victorious. Back to 60. I do beg your pardon, I got so excited there, I forgot what I was supposed to be doing. Here is my dearest friend, Yvette, who I can't tell you behind the scenes how much she's helping us. That, you know, nobody would ever know how much Yvette does for us. And I can't tell you how much it means to Back to 60, and more importantly, what it means to 50s women. So let's hear it for Yvette Greenway.
Can we get everyone all around here at the front? It'll be fantastic, yeah? If everyone can come right, well, round my front anyway, that'd be absolutely brilliant. So I can address you all at the same time. Otherwise, I'm highly likely to fall off this box. Listen, it's great to have everyone here today, and I think one of the main points that we've heard over and over again today is the unity that this day is providing. Look at us all from different groups. Maybe some of us have different understandings. And can you hear me? No. What about now? Yes. Okay, so I'm going to hold it right to my mouth. Okay. Anyway, what I was saying is unity, ladies. Okay. First and foremost, unity, because without that, okay, they have an opportunity to divide and conquer, and you can't give them that, okay? So unity, let's hear it. Okay, so very briefly, I just want to say, before I go through some of the results of the mental wellbeing survey, the impact upon 50s women specifically, it's really apt that we're standing here today, because 152 years ago, it was men that were standing at the Reformers' Tree campaigning to get a vote for each single man. So how apt is that? I just think, what an ideal place. Whoever chose this venue, well done. It's perfect. Spot on. Okay, so whilst we can't possibly know the mental health implications for those men at that time, we do know the mental health impact that, you know, this situation with your pensions has had on these ladies, and to a degree their families as well. So I'm just going to read out a snapshot of some of the information that we've got. The rest of it will be made available online, hopefully by the end of this week, okay? So just bear with me. So one of the questions we asked, as a direct result of your pension deferral, have you had feelings of suicide? We had 1,130 responses to that particular question. 54% have had feelings either on a regular basis or maybe even just the once. The fact is that this situation that the government have put you in is driving you to feel that miserable that you are considering ending your lives. This has to stop. And then again, we asked, have you attempted to take your own life as a direct result of your pension deferral? Figures slightly smaller. However, put it in context with the bigger picture of the 3.5 million women that are affected by this deferral. 9% of women had attempted to take their own lives because of their pension deferral. For God's sake, who is listening to this? Mrs. May, where are you? Yes, I won't try and do the May dance, but anyway. Okay. I don't know how many of you know this, but it's well known that self-harming can be a strong precursor to attempts of suicide. So this is particularly upsetting. As a direct result of your pension deferral, have you had feelings of self-harm? Again, the same number of responses, 1,130, and out of those, 26% are having feelings of self-harm. Have you had feelings of self-harm? And have you self-harmed? 11% of those ladies questioned have been engaging in self-harm to various degrees, either daily, monthly, or maybe just the once. Regardless, the fact is they're doing it. This is how miserable and desperate these ladies feel. They see no hope, they see no way out, and what is more, they see a complete lack of support from the people that should be supporting them, those in power. It is complete ignorance, a complete lack of respect for how these ladies feel. I'll just give you one more, just one more. And this shows the financial impact as well as the mental health impact on ladies, okay? Have you started using food banks as a direct result of the SPA deferral? Same number of people questioned, 1,130, 11% are now using food banks regularly or occasionally because they have no other means to feed themselves. It is absolutely shocking stuff, and the list goes on. There are stats after stats here, but as I say, we'll get them all up online for you. So just going back, I'd just like to summarise by saying, I think it's very true, ladies and gentlemen, that you can't possibly have a process that ensures equality without a fairness of implementation. This fantastic rally today, which brings so many of us together, is just one of the strands of the whole pension campaign. It follows on from previous campaigns, rallies that have been hosted by individuals and groups, media input, and of course the legal challenge that Joanne has just mentioned. I think that's great news. I mean, let's clap again for that. An oral hearing, fantastic. So all of these efforts seek not only to increase the awareness of the plight of 1950s women, but mainly to act as a collective and a persistent layer of pressure upon governments who seek to ignore the fundamental rights of those affected in their flawed and callously cruel decision-making. I'm also aware of efforts to undermine these campaigns through intimidation, through bullying, especially on social media. There has been some quite despicable and disgusting stuff going on. I'm sure many of you have been subject to that. And I don't want to focus on that today, but I think it's important to mention it, okay?
Good job, Sandra.
Going forward, please, all of you, ignore it to the best of your ability, okay? It's not worth engaging with. It is negative, and it is absolutely not worth it. Let's remember, the efforts on shaming should be directed at the government and not upon each other. And finally, by standing together shoulder to shoulder and speaking with one voice, ladies and gentlemen, you can be the force that implements and drives forward the change you require. Thank you. Okay, so next we have an absolute minefield of information, the brain of David Henke.
Hello, thank you very much. Actually, I must also thank you Sorry, can you hear me okay? Yeah, right. Right, I must actually thank you first, because I used to be a national... Sorry, can you hear now? Yeah? Is that better? Yeah, right. Yeah. Can you hear me now? For my own blog, basically I used to get 500, 1,000 hits, 5,000 hits and so on. This story from you, the one on exposing the £271 billion that you've been robbed of, I've had 180,000 hits. Plus over 500 comments, which is basically I'm told if a national newspaper gets 20 to 30,000 hits, it's doing well. So first of all, big thanks to you for doing that. Now when well, nevertheless, anyway. When I was first approached by Joanne from Back to 60, yeah, well, I'm trying to, yeah, is that better? When I was first approached, I basically thought, gosh, this is a really, there's no money, you know, we haven't got it in the account, everyone is going to live longer and longer and longer, and we can't afford it, which I discovered after research was rubbish. Now, what is extraordinary is that in trying to research this, the first thing I did was to look at the National Insurance Fund, which they said was already now, without any other contributions, you know, well, it's not in the red, it's in the red. It isn't. It's in the black, and likely to stay in the black for about the next 10 years. So that is not true. But there was far worse stuff that I discovered by researching. Basically what I did was, I went on Google and I checked the House of Commons library. Now, the House of Commons library is not a centre known for fake news. It is a fact, and it's detailed research that has to be provided for every MP, and it has to be absolutely accurate. What I discovered by going through the documents on pensions and the research they've done, that in 1988, a big swindle was done that was never reported. John Moore, who was the Social Security Secretary, decided there was enough money in the National Insurance Fund, had about a 10 billion surplus, to stop something that William Beveridge in 1948 assured for everyone in Britain, that the Treasury would put in a good percentage, about it runs about 11.1 billion a year, into the National Insurance Fund, which mainly pays for your pension, but also covers unemployment, maternity, and other things. He decided to stop that. More tax cuts. Within 4 years, the fund was denuded by over £5 or £6 billion, because under the Thatcher government, if you remember, there was a lot more unemployment now, and of course they hadn't bothered about that. Then in 1992, they decided they would restore it, but not properly, so it didn't go in every year in any way automatically. And basically they then made sure the figures, apart from 1 or 2 years, for the next 24 years to 2014, that no money was put in, which is where I get the 271 billion. And I've actually been conservative with the small c, because now Paul Lewis money has gone back to 1981, where there was some reduction, but no full reduction, and says altogether 400 billion was taken out of this, which is an enormous sum of money. Now, the other thing I am extremely suspicious of, this is 1992. By 1995, John Major's government decided to basically raise the pensions age. Now, how interesting that in 1992 they didn't restore this properly, so there was no extra money coming in, and instead it looks absolutely clear. They thought, well, the simple solution is to raise the pension age, and we'll do it. And furthermore, they didn't have the decency to tell you that they'd done it. The best you got, and you had to follow the Times or the national press to see a small story saying, oh, well, it's changing. But any institution, your bank, if it changes your interest rate, feels obliged to write a letter to you personally. Doesn't expect you to read the press about it or anything else, because it's your money. Or were going to be your money, it's your contributions. They didn't tell anybody, and that was a disgrace. And they didn't tell only, because if you think of the political situation, the Tories were getting increasingly unpopular. They were very unpopular at the time, and it was the time Tony Blair won the 1997 election. So a decision was obviously thought, oh my God, if we tell 4 million women they're not going to get their pension for 15 years personally, we're going to look even worse. And I think that is what is behind it. The other extraordinary thing I discovered is the government's making a big thing, you're all going to live longer, forever, etc., etc. Rubbish. Now that is rubbish as well, because basically from 1951 to 2011, yes, it's been rising. The number of people have been going to predicted to live longer. 2011, 7 years ago, it started stopping. Last year, figures that came out last month not only said there was virtually no increase, but in Northern Ireland for men, in Scotland and Wales for men and women, it's gone down, which is, against all things. And I'm now going to read you a piece of fake news from the annual report of the Department for Work and Pensions for last year. The Department of Work and Pensions, and this is why it is so flawed, have put in their annual report about this increase. They then said that basically next year, anyone born, any woman will live to 92, and any man will live to 89 and a half. Now this is rather amazing, because this month the Office for National Statistics has produced a report saying, sorry, the chances for women to live this, if they were born this year, is only 82, not 92, and for men it's 79, not 86. So, but this is really serious, because this is what the Department of Work and Pensions is using against you to say it, and it is false. And in fact, I'm thinking of writing another blog about this. And they shouldn't be doing this. It's actually wrong. They also have an extraordinary thing that in 2066, virtually everyone's going to live to 100. Now, how the hell do they know that? I don't know. But again, they're planning this, and they're not, and I would actually add this to men, they're planning this to raise the pension age beyond 65, 66, we now know is 2020, 67, then 68. They could use this argument to basically carry on to about 72 or 73. In fact, they could go back to what Bismarck, why there is a 65 age incidentally, is because Bismarck, in the 19th century, the famous German chancellor of the time, set the age at 65 because he knew most people in Germany died at 64, so he wouldn't have to pay. Now, no, I don't know whether Mr. Oppenheim is taking lessons from Bismarck, but he's certainly moving in that direction. So what I would say to you, absolutely firmly, you must stick with this. You have been robbed. It is wrong. It is actually a scandal involving one of the largest group of people who've been swindled out of their pensions. And I hope actually you continue. I'm really pleased that I've been able to make a contribution to give you the facts on what went wrong and why actually you need to do it. But I don't think I have to, because you seem pretty well determined to it, and good luck to you. Is Sophie Walker here? Sophie Walker. Ah.
Don't forget Hyde is going to reduce pension in 2020.
Yeah.
What a glorious day to assert our equal rights! And when I say equal rights, I mean freedom. The freedom to live our lives as women on the same terms as men. Equality is not a last-minute grab for equity. It is not a cynical exercise in papering over a lifetime of discrimination. It is an honour to stand here today with all of you, all of the women, swindled out of your dues by Parliament. And to say, we will not stand for this. Thank you, Back to 60. Thank you, WASPI. Thank you, we paid in, you paid out. Thank you, every single activist who has committed to challenge this unfair law. This law was voted through by a parliament in which men still outnumber women by 2 to 1. It is a parliament that does not see or understand women. It doesn't understand the sacrifices that you have made as women. It doesn't care about the education system that told you you were fit only for the work that society values and pays less. It doesn't care about the struggle that you had to advance in that work against men who said that you did not deserve equal chances in the workplace or an equal career. It doesn't care about the unpaid care work that you have done as women over and over and over again. From your kids, to your grandkids, to your partners, to your partners' families. It doesn't care that you were already expecting to retire on 18% less per year than men. How dare the men in that building of Parliament talk about equality of pension age when Parliament denies women equal access to equally paid work, pay and representation. When it denies women equal parental leave and is unashamed by the fact that the UK has got the most expensive childcare in the world. Do you know what the Treasury calls women who drop out of the workforce to care for children? Do you know what the Treasury calls those women who, in providing unpaid care, lose out on pay and pension contributions? It calls us economically inactive. Like we're all sitting around twiddling our thumbs. It is not that caring is not worthwhile. It is because women do it that the state does not value it or fund it properly or see it as the investment it could be. And so it falls to women to do it for free at their own financial loss. Do you know how much women's unpaid work is worth a year? 1.2
trillion. And Parliament banked it without thanks. And then it reached for another 30 billion by stealing the last years of your pensions. It pushed even more women into welfare dependency while simultaneously embarking on a 10-year programme of austerity that took its savings from the welfare state. Let me be very clear. The Women's Equality Party is not against equalising the state pension, but if you're going to equalise the state pension, then you must equalise women in the state size from birth. The government's failure to inform you about those changes was scandalous. How were you supposed to make any plans for your retirement without knowing what was coming? Without equal investment in all of your life and equal choices to help you save for your retirement. Equalising the state pension can only be done along with measures to help women save for it by equalising our economic participation and pay over our lifetimes. And that means invest in childcare. Yes. Radical idea. Invest in social care. Oh my God! Make sure that everybody has a stake in it, so it no longer falls to women to do it unpaid and unseen. Well, we are unseen no longer. You deserve, all women deserve, to live free and equal lives and to look forward to retirement instead of spending it exhausted and ill from the years of putting yourselves second to other people's needs. You deserve better, and the Women's Equality Party fully supports your call.
It's okay, I'm going to give you a song now.
It is time. Women, we are going to be the tsunami that will break down the walls of resistance in the corridors of power that dare to make us destitute. How dare they do this to us? It is not enough that they feed us with lies, misleading statements, and all kinds of rubbish. But then to put our lives at stake and then have the audacity to not acknowledge that this is a problem. That they have the audacity to not bridge the gap. How dare they? Now, the speakers before me have spoken so eloquently. They've articulated all of the issues, giving you all the data, all the statistics. Let me tell you what I am here to do. Can you feel a fire in your belly? Yes! I'm here to stoke that fire. Yes! Is that fire building up? Yes! I can't hear you. Yes! Theresa May cannot hear you. Yes! You are going to turn that fire into something that will blind them in the corridors of power. We women, we are the change makers of this society. Where would they all be without us? Without our sacrifices? Now, there'll be people who look at me and go, well, she doesn't actually look like she was born in the 50s. That's okay. But let me tell you this. If they can do that to you, they will do it to me. If they can make your life a misery, they are planning to make my life a misery. They increase the pension age from 60 to 66 without even asking me. I want every one of us here, we all take the time, we put the work in. You all put the work in. Yes. Can you imagine that? Some women from the age of 15 and 16 relying and trusting in the government when they said that when you retire, all your contributions will be paid back to you. And now they're giving us this nonsense. Okay, let me tell you what we're going to do right now. I need you to put one hand on the shoulder of the person standing next to you. Go on, don't worry. There's plenty of consent here. Only the shoulder, don't touch anywhere else. And then I want you to put up your other hand. Put one hand up. And then holding it as a fist. As a fist. I want you to shout out loud these words. Pay me or get out. 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 Show me the money. Show me the money. Show me the money. Show me the money. Is that fire still getting stoked? Yeah. Is it getting stoked? Yeah. Is it whirling down your belly? I need you to move. Let it move around. Today is not the day that you stay polite. I know I heard that you're meant to walk up here quietly, respectfully. Forget that. Do you hear me? I want your body language. I want every step you take to be one of anger, of protest, of change, to say enough is enough. You will hear my voice. You will make a change today. To my brothers and sisters, to all of you out there, and if these politicians, if they've got two heads, let them take us on. Or we will kick them out of that office so fast we'll make their heads spin. We must make pension inequality a priority. If it's a priority for us, it must be a priority for them. The power is in your hands. Do you hear me? The power is in your hands. You go to your MP when they're trying to solicit your vote, solicit your, your consent. The first thing you ask them is, what are you doing about pension inequality? When they come knocking on your door, what are you doing about pension inequality? That's the first question you ask them. If they don't give you an answer you want, you know what you say to them? God bless you. Thank you. Peace off. Get lost. Get the hell out of my sight. Do you hear me? All right. I want your arm of strength. Show me your arm of strength. Arm of strength. Everybody up, 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 up. Let me see them. Let me see them. Let me see as far as the eye can see. Let me see them. Remember what I said to you earlier? Today is not the day for our lovely British politeness and, our lovely culture of being respectful, right? We forget all that nonsense. Not today, not today. Today you are going to be activists in a way you have never been in your entire life. You will use your voice, you will use your feet, you will use the look on your face, you will use your body language to make it clear that pension inequality must end, that the government must bridge the gap. Today, they must make a change, and you must make Theresa May hear you. When you get out there, you must say, shame on you! Say, shame on you! 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 Women count! Women count! Women count! Women count! I count! I count! Put your hands on your chest! I count! So ladies and gentlemen, as I step up this lovely podium, this black sister of yours, I am standing shoulder to shoulder with you. I stand with you in love, in prosperity. I will lend you my voice, I'll lend you my feet. Heck, the fire in my belly is plenty to go round, Hyde Park, okay? We will make this happen. Inequality has no color. Inequality has no color. So we are all in this together. And if we don't stand united, then they beat us because will be divided, and we will not allow that. United we stand! Thank you.
On the beaches. Ladies, do you think we can make Mrs. May here from here today? All together now. You women have your own today.
Hello everybody, again. Hello everybody. Again, it is my privilege and honour to introduce to you Jean Rogers, actor,